Hey folks, Liam here from AdButler again, and today I'm going to finish up going over our targeting features, focusing mainly on keyword targeting. Now, if you haven't seen it yet, I recommend that you head over and watch the Introduction to Targeting video that goes over geographic targets, platform targets, and how to assign a target to a campaign or banner. Keyword targeting works differently, but you'll need to understand the concept of a target and how to assign it before you can move on to keyword targeting. With keyword targeting, one of the biggest differences is that you don't create a pre-assigned target in our targeting dashboard. Instead, you create your target and assign it on the assignment page itself, in this little field here. Our system allows for some pretty complicated targeting, so I'm going to start with the simplest implementation and then move on from there into macros, multiple targets, and finish off with a few use cases. As always, the timestamps are below if you need them. Okay, so the basics of keyword targeting is we type a string. Basically, in programming, a string is a phrase. In this field, say the word cooking, and then when the zone tag requests a banner, it looks at a variable, basically a stored item on a website, and if the variable matches the string we typed in, the banner will be served. How do we actually set that keyword variable? Below we have a nice example that shows you how to set a keyword on a page by placing a script and filling in the blanks. Very, very simple. Anyone can do this. Here, the window.abkw, that's the variable I mentioned before, abkw standing for AdButler keyword, is set to artist, painter. This means, you guessed it, that the page's keywords are artist and painter. You could just copy this snippet and place it in the header of your web page, replacing the keywords for really fast integration, changing the keyword to whatever you want. That's the basic way of setting up a keyword target. And if you're using our WordPress plugin, you can skip the script and just set a keyword through a custom field to match the one we're putting in here. Now, because we're using a script to declare the variable, if you're familiar with JavaScript at all, you can instantly see how powerful this is. You can pass us anything back, whether it's a variable or a window size or something out of your own database, and we'll try and match it. You can also use wildcard characters for the keyword and go really in depth that way. You can also set the keyword match method, which is how important the keyword is. If it's preferred, it means that if the keyword matches, the campaign or banner has a higher chance of being served. If it's set to required, it means the campaign or banner will only serve if there's a match. So, if my keyword is cooking and it's set to required, the campaign or banner will only serve if cooking is the keyword. And that's how keyword targeting essentially works. You set the keyword, you declare it on the page, and then you tell AdButler how to treat it if it does or does not match. Now let's talk about macros. A macro is like a pre-made code bit that adds functionality for you and changes the keyword targeting. Think of these as additional options that tweak the targeting a bit and add extra functionality for you. We have a couple different macros I'm going to go over. First, we have in URL targeting, which would look like this: in URL : and then the keyword, in this case cooking. With this macro, the entire URL is used as a keyword. AdButler then looks in the URL for the keyword we ask for. This is especially handy if your website uses categories or tags and they're displayed in the URL. For instance, if you had a news category for your website and you had banners you want to display in the news section, we could just replace cooking with news as long as that news category is surfaced in the URL. The great thing about using in URL targeting is you don't need to actually run any scripts on your page to declare the variable because we're looking in the URL. The next macro we have is date and time targeting. This allows us to set a particular time frame to target based on the days of the week and the time of day. Let me show you. If I type this in, date : and then a date range, so let's do Friday to Sunday, / and then a time range, so I'm going to do 10 to 17, which is 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now this banner will only serve between Friday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. for my set time zone. Pretty simple, so you can just change it around to get different configurations. Great for time limited things. Once again, the great thing about this macro is you don't have to declare the variable or keyword on the page. Finally, the last macro we have is publisher ID targeting, a very specific use case, but if you have one campaign assigned to a channel and you want to exclude the campaign from one publisher in that channel, I know we're getting deep here, we can exclude their publisher ID. You can find their publisher ID by opening up the publisher and looking in the URL for that page. If I had a publisher whose number was 18573 and I wanted to exclude them, I would type in -publisher ID : 18573. And then whenever that publisher went to serve a campaign, it would be rejected. This also shows off another aspect of keyword targeting, which is creating exclusions, just like with geographic targets. By putting that minus sign before publisher ID, I told AdButler I didn't want this publisher. However, if I take out the minus sign, Now we're telling AdButler to look for the publisher ID. The minus sign can be added to any keyword to change it to an exclusive match. So we can do -URL : cooking, we can do -cooking, we do -date : Monday, or anything else. We can also have AdButler look for multiple keywords just by separating them with a comma. AdButler will then look at all the keywords to see if any of them match. This also lets us use multiple macros at once. So if we wanted our restaurant category to only show during a certain time frame, we would use in-URL targeting for the restaurant category and date and time targeting to set the time range. On the other side of that, we can also set multiple keywords for a page by separating them with a comma, as in the example. So, finally, I promised use cases. I'm going to go through 4 kinds to show you how you might use AdButler's targeting. Now these will be a mix of geographic, platform, and keyword targeting, as well as some assignment settings. So if you don't know that stuff, go check out our other videos. First, say I run a local directory website in Victoria, BC, and have a restaurant who wants to advertise their weekend specials on the weekend, but only to their local customers. I can set this up easily by creating a geographic target of Victoria, BC, and adding it to my campaign. I can then go into the keyword targeting field and add in some date and time targeting to place it on Thursday to Sunday. I'm also going to give the banner a higher weight, so it's more likely to serve. Now, without having to muck around with any disabling or whatever, this banner will continue to run under the conditions my advertiser requested. I can also go in and change the banner to a different banner or add banners to the campaign and not have to play with all these settings again. Second, now instead of being a local directory website, I'm a tech advertiser who's selling Android and iPhone accessories. I have 2 banners, one meant for either platform, and I need to make sure it's only shown to people on those devices, so no Macs or PCs either. What I'll do is head over to my platform targets page and create 2 mobile-only targets, one for Android, one for iPhone. I can then increase the weight of the assignments, allowing the banner to show more often, but only if the platform target is met. Now, once this is done, iPhone users will see iPhone ads and Android users will see Android ads. Okay, example 3. I now work for a news website as their ad ops guy, and I'm trying to implement proper category advertising. This way, car stories get car ads, sports stories get sports ads, and the like. My website runs on WordPress, so all the URLs are standardized, but all the pages are also standardized. I can only display 3 zones over and over in their widget areas. However, because the URLs are standardized, they all have their category in them. Because of that, I can use in-URL targeting and target the category that I need to. So, I can type in-URL : sports, check required, and now this campaign will only show for sports stories. I can do this for all my other categories, and now, although all the zones are the same, different banners will show in each one depending on the page. For my final example, say I run a website with premium memberships. Because people pay to not see ads with their premium membership, I only want to show the banners to people who don't have a membership. I can do this really easily with a keyword script by setting a simple keyword like member when a user is logged in and setting the assignment for the campaigns to -member required. Now the banners will only serve if someone isn't logged in. And that's keyword targeting, as well as a whole bunch of examples, and that finishes our series on targeting. I know this is a lot to take in, but once you start playing around with it, I'm sure it'll make sense. Or, if not, feel free to leave a comment with any questions or email us to get in touch. Also, if you are looking for videos on anything specific, leave a comment and or email us your suggestion and we'll get back to you. As always, Liam from AdButler here. Thanks for watching and have a good day.